Okay, in our fourth video, we're going to practice a little bit what we just learned about solving percent problems for the percent number, Um, so let me move down here and let me pull up a scenario. So we're looking for the percents in most of these problems. I might have thrown a little curveball in there at one point for the four problems that we're going to solve here, but that's okay. Have your pencil ready, have your paper ready. I want you to stop the video and try some of these on your own, and then we'll double check them together. All right, let's look at the scenario. So the scenario here says the Silmar Video Game Club has 40 games in its library. Will checked out 2 games. Cheryl has 12 games, and Manny has 15% of the games. All right, so we've got 2 kids, Will and Cheryl, who it tells us how many games they have, and then Manny, it tells us the percentage of the total number of games that he has. So let's see, I think that this is probably important. Okay, 40 total games, that's probably the whole, I would think. Will checked out 2 games, so this is going to be a part. This 12 games of Cheryl's that she's checked out is going to be a part. And this is a percent representation of the part of the games that Manny has checked out. So let's see how that all plays out. We'll see what the questions look like. It says, using the proportion method, solve the 4 problems below. Show work and write a complete sentence to answer each question. All right, well, let's do that together, okay? Let's jump to the questions. All right, here we go. So, solving percent problems using the proportion method, we've already looked at in previous videos. If you skipped over them, please go back and have a look. I think I did a reasonably good job of describing it and going step by step. So, number 1 here says, what percentage of the games did Will check out? Did Will check out? So, if we go back and we look here, it says that Will checked out 2 games, and there are 40 games in total. So, we want to find out what percentage 2 of 40. What percentage of 40 is 2? That's really the goal here. So I'm going to do this one for you all by myself, and you watch, and then you'll answer the next one. All right, here we go. So we've got Will has, I'm just going to write here, 2 games. There are 40 total games. These are just notes to myself. 40 total games, okay? So the whole is the of, which we don't see here, do we? The whole is not attached necessarily to an of. We just have to picture it and think of what they're talking about. So the whole library full of games is 40. That goes on the bottom. And 2 is the part that we're trying to find what percentage that is of the whole. Okay, so that's how many that Will checked out. Let's use R again for our variable for percent. And now we know that we need to multiply each of our numerators with the opposite fractions denominator. So let me just circle here so I can keep track. You can keep track with me. Make our little butterfly a little sloppy. Sorry about that. Should get better at that. So 40 times R is 40 R. And 2 times 100 is, last time I checked, 200. 2 times 100 is 200. Now, I need to get this R by itself. And 40 R's is the same thing as 40 times R. So if I divide, which is the inverse operation of multiplication, if I divide 40 times R by 40, it gets rid of the 40. And it leaves R all by itself, right? All by itself. I have to do the same thing to the other side because I want to make sure that my equation stays in balance. So I always have to do the same thing that I do to one side to the other side. 200 divided by 40, I'm just going to do this in my head. 4 divided by 20 is 5, so 200 divided by 40 is also 5. 40 goes into 200 5 times. So R is equal to 5. That means that the percentage of games that will checked out is 5%. Now, this is not complete. If you do this on the exam for a word problem, I will not mark it correct, okay? You have to say, will, I'm doing my best writing here, I'm new at this, will checked out 5% of the games. Okay? That would be complete. All right, let's go to the next problem now. We go back here. I'm going to move down. Let me just scroll down. Here's problem number 2. It says, what percentage of the games has Cheryl checked out? What percentage of the games has Cheryl checked out? I want you to go back and look here. It says, again, the total number of games is 40, so we know that. And it says that Cheryl has checked out 12 games. 12 games. So let's just write that in so you've got it, okay? So we've got 40 games total. 40 games total. And Cheryl checked out 12 of them. So I'm just going to write 12. Maybe I don't want to write it there. Maybe I should write it up here. 12 games total. So I want you to stop the video right now and see if you can figure this out. What percentage of the games Cheryl checked out? So go ahead and stop now. Okay, so let's do this together. We know that 40 is the total. It's the whole, just like it was on the last problem. So I'm going to put 40 on the bottom. And we know that Cheryl checked out 12 of those 40. Okay, so let's put 12 on top. Again, we don't know what the percentage is. We're going to make that R. We're going to find out. All right, 40 times R, instead of drawing the butterfly, by the way, I'll just draw lines here. All right, 40 times R is 40R, equal to 12 times 100 is 1200. I can do that in my head. 12 times 1 is 12, and then I just add 2 zeros is 1200. All right, now what I want to do is I want to get my R to be all by itself. So I need to, again, like I did last time, divide by 40. Got to do it on both sides. Got to do it on both sides if I do it on one. 40 times R divided by 40 leaves just R. If you have 40 R's and you divide by 40, you get 1 R that's left behind. All right, now let's look here. 40 into 1200. 1200 divided by 40. Let's take a look at that, why don't we? Let's do that over here. 1200. It's kind of bigger numbers, all right? 40 doesn't go into 1, it doesn't go into 12, but it does go into 120. And it goes into 120 3 times. 3 times 40 is 120. Zeros us out, but we're not to the end yet. So we have to bring this 0 down, and 40 goes into 0 times. That means R, R, let me readjust, sorry about that. R is equal to 30, okay? R is equal, sorry, I'm pressing something on my stylus that is making it difficult to write. There we go. So R is equal to 30. That means that Cheryl, let's write it here, Cheryl checked out 30% of the games. 30% of the games, okay?